It's a circle of life, and it moves us all through despair and hope, through faith and love, till we find our place on the path unwinding, in the circle of life.
Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl Amanda, and today I'm here to talk about the movie Lion King. Yeah, so Lion King. So, if you don't know, my room is Lion King. I have things all over the room. Everything in Lion King. My dorm room is Lion King. I've always loved Lion King, even as a child. I have always loved Lion King. But I have a few things about this new live action that I didn't care for. So without further ado, we're gonna get on with this video. Okay, so about this movie, right? Yeah, it's not that I didn't like the movie. It's just the fact that the changes they made was just like, why? I understand that it's 2019 and the movie came out in 1994. I understand that. The movie is 25 years old. I get that. But, oh, and shout out to James E. Jones. James Earl Jones. Hallelujah. That man stayed alive so he can come back and do his part for Mufasa, because I don't see anybody else replacing Mufasa. I'm just going to say that. I don't see nobody coming to replace the role of Mufasa. His voice is distinct. He has that voice that when he speaks, you finna listen. And it just carries weight with his voice. It just carries weight. And I'm just, thanks be unto God, this man remained alive. Because he was in his 60s in 1994 when the movie first came out. And now he's like, I ain't gonna say my man got one foot in the grave, but my man's, you know. But yeah, I did enjoy the movie, except for, like I said, a few things. Okay, so like one of the main thing that I didn't care for was Beyonce. I'm sorry. I know that's y'all queen bee and everything and whatever. She can be y'all queen bee. But she just can't be Nala, okay? She can't be Nala. Ladies, are you with me? Like, what? This ain't no, okay, ladies, now let's get information.
Yes, y'all, I was very upset. Just look at the look on my face. Just boy, look at that face, boy. I'm ticked off.
And first of all, I feel like they gave Nala too many lines. Nala only was in like she was in like the third scene. The song I Can't Wait to Be King, Can You Feel the Love Tonight, and then that whole thing where she came back, and where she came back. Well, she didn't come back. She went to go get Simba. Well, she went to go get help and find some food. She ran to Simba, trifling self. Okay, he ain't trifling, but she found Simba, and then they came back. So yeah, she found Simba while out trying to look for help.
Y'all, I feel like I'm struggling. That's because I just got done coughing my lungs out. Okay, look at the face. Like, look at my face.
And then that's basically the movie. They fall in love, they come back, whatever. Now, the second change which this one I actually liked. I loved this one actually, which was the role of Rafiki. Rafiki, my home dog Skilly Biscuit. I liked his role. He spoke mostly African, which I love that they brought the African vibe to this movie. He spoke, like I said, mostly African. He said very few words in English, which I loved. And just his character was just, I don't know. I just really love Rafiki in the live action one. If I had to compare him between the live action versus the cartoon version, I like the live action version better. Of Rafiki. Timon and Pumbaa, it's kind of a tie between the two, because some people were saying that they were expecting Timon and Pumbaa to come out in hula skirts singing the songs like they did in the cartoon. However, in the live action, they came out singing the Be Our Guest song from Beauty and the Beast. And I mean, I don't know, Timon and Pumbaa, even though they were different in a lot of ways, I feel like their humor was still the same, you know. They still brought humor to the film, whether it was the 1994 version of what they considered humorous compared to what 2019 considers humorous, you know. Some things like, you know, you consider this talking about your fixer-upper when Simba brings them back to Pride Rock, when Scar has taken reign and everything. Just things like that. I feel like that's like a new age, you know. People who watch HGTV understand that, you know, talking about your fixer-upper, you know, with, you know, renovations and everything. So, I don't know, I just felt like that it fit. Like I said, Nala, she was given way too many lines, I personally feel. But, you know, whatever. So the scene, so there's a scene in the movie, for those of you who have seen the film, where Simba is running back to Pride Rock. Because he's talking to Rafiki, whatever, you know, remember who you are, and, you know, you got Mufasa. I thought my daddy was here. I'm supposed to be cleaning up. When Rafiki tells Simba that Mufasa lives in you, you know, remember who you are, you know, you're royalty, you're the one true king, go take your place as king, you know, the whole shebang. And they added Beyonce's song Spirit. Now, pause. I have seen the music video Spirit. It is beautiful. I love the African vibe and everything. Like, it's just completely African. I love it. It is a beautiful thing. Her and her daughter have red hair, and I know that is something, I believe it is something towards the Ariel being African American now. So I feel like that was kind of like a, you know, black women can wear red hair and still rock it and still look beautiful. So shout out to Beyonce and, you know, Blue Ivy for doing that and having that indirectly yet direct voice about that. However, I don't feel like the song Spirit fit where they put it at in the film. I feel like they should have put that, I'm not even going to say that in the end credits, but I just feel like they could have put that song anywhere else but where they put it at. Like I say, they had it where he was running back, and it's like you go from a scene that was so deep and so, which, yeah, her song has a good message in it. However, I just feel like putting that song after he had that talk with Rafiki about remember who you are and take your place, follow in your father's footsteps, etc., etc. I just feel like that song, like the tempo and the beat of it, I just feel like it could have been put anywhere else but there. It could have went anywhere, honestly. And then, you know, I'm not trying to like bash Beyonce, but I feel like I am, but I'm not. And then even the song Can You Feel the Love Tonight with Donald Glover, I I didn't really like that take. It was fine. And I know based off of the movie clips, you know, like the little trailers and everything, I was going into the film or into the theater feeling some type of way. However, when I seen it in the film and everything, you know, full out, I was kind of like, okay, you know, it's not that bad. I just feel like she gave, well, first of all, the whole movie had seasoning, okay? It had some seasoning. It was more than just salt and pepper. It had some seasoning on it, okay? But I feel like Beyonce had a little more seasoning. She made it salty. She had so much seasoning, it became salty. You know, even JD, okay, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He did an amazing job. He added his own little flavor into I Just Can't Wait to Be King, and it was a good song. It was a good rendition, a very good vibe. However, you know, I don't know. I guess that's what happens when you love a movie so much and you watch it like a ritual, and then when they come out with a newer version of the movie, this is what you get. You know, it's not that I didn't like the live action. I love the live action. I've seen it twice already, and I'm aiming at watching it again and a few more times because I just love The Lion King. However, I just feel like there's some parts in both of the movies that I love individually about each other. It's still the same storyline, which is great. They stuck with the same thing about, you know, the father is murdered by his mischievous brother, the nephew, you know, slash son slash next in line to be king runs away. He has these two people who are key to his life, and he also has a guardian who is Rafiki, who, you know, is like ends up coming to him later on in his life, telling him remember who he is. And then Nala, you know, they link back up, and then she talks some sense into him. He goes back to Pride Rock, he fights, and he gets his throne. He takes his throne as king, and then the movie shuts. That's good. You know, I'm so grateful that they kept the stories the same. However, because, you know, the Jungle Book, not to rain on their parade, but if I had to compare the Jungle Book live action to the Lion King live action, Lion King hands down was the best. I'm not just saying that because it was my favorite movie, because I loved the Jungle Book too, not as much as the Lion King. However, I feel like when they did the Jungle Book live action, they changed so many things. They had Baloo using Mowgli to crawl up a rock or a tree or something to get like this big thing of honey, and I'm like, that was nowhere in the cartoon version of the Jungle Book. So they changed that, and then there was some other parts in the Jungle Book that I can't really think, you know, right off the tip of my tongue or off the top of my head right now, that they changed between the Jungle Book live action and the cartoon version. But, you know, sticking with the Lion King, I just feel like they made some good changes as well as some changes that I wish that they would have kept the same. Even with Scar, you know, I understand that it was a live action. However, I wish that they would have did his color at least a little more dark. I seen the scar over his left eye, which was great. I just wish that we could tell a little bit more of a difference between the two. And another thing, speaking of Scar, the hyenas. I like the hyenas better in the cartoon version compared to the hyenas in the live action. And that is because in the live action, I feel like they tried to make them seem as though they didn't really get along to an extent. It was more so, like in the cartoon version, for example, it was more of one was I think it was Senji or something like that. The one that Whoopi Goldberg played, that's all I know. She kind of was like the brains of the three hyenas. And then you had one who was just like, he understood, but he was very naive. And then you just had one that was kind of in between, versus the one in the three in the live action. Well, first of all, they had more than three, but the main three in the live action, I feel like they made the two kind of seem like, okay, one was just naive and everything, but I felt like the one was just like completely just like aggravated or something. I don't know. I just feel like they changed that a little bit too much for the hyenas. And then there was way more hyenas in the elephant graveyard. I was like, how they finna do this? How they finna escape? Because in the movie, I only remember 3 hyenas chasing them. But in the live action, they had like 10 to 12 of the hyenas. And I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be hard. But one thing I did love was that they gave Sarabi more of a voice in the live action version. So in the cartoon version, Sarabi was more of a, I'm not gonna say she was laid back and like didn't have a voice, but I personally just feel like she was like a yes sir, no sir type of thing. Versus the live action, she was more vocal. You know, when Nala, aka Beyonce, told Alfrey / Robbie to not go to talk with Scar when he called her and everything, she was like, no, you know, I'm not afraid of him, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, she stood up for herself. And I'm not saying, you know, she didn't stand up for herself in the cartoon version, but I'm just saying, compared to the two, I can just appreciate that change, that she has a voice more so in the live action versus the cartoon version. But overall, like I say, I love Lion King. That first song, Circle of Life, when it first come on, when the movie started, it hit right on point. And when I first heard that, I was like, this movie finna be bomb. It's finna be bomb. It's finna be bomb. Hey. But yeah, like I said, overall, I enjoyed it. I will definitely watch it again. Will I watch it more than the cartoon version? I can't really say. The changes I have to get used to, but I love them both. So I don't know. What was some more changes? Oh, okay. So one minor change was with Timon and Pumbaa's personality, slash like the jokes that they told. They made Timon and Pumbaa, their jokes seem more clear. For example, in the cartoon version, they made Timon and Pumbaa have a sense of humor. However, it wasn't like evident. I felt like as a child, I didn't understand anything of the humor side that Timon and Pumbaa did as a child in the cartoon version. Now that I am 23 years old, watching the live action in 2019, it's not that I understand everything that they, it's not that I understand everything that they say or could hear everything that they say, because it did take me like, you know, the second time to hear certain things that I didn't hear the first time. However, I feel like they made it more evident. Like there was a part where they found Simba laying, you know, wherever he was laying at on the same, well, in the cartoon it was in like a little desert. So I don't know if it was the same in the movie. I can't really remember, but I think it was. And Pumbaa was saying, oh, that's a lion. And Timon was like, oh, you know, no, it's not. That is a furry bird. You know, let me get closer. And, oh, no, you know, that really is a lion. It's certain things that, like, in the cartoon version, I didn't really think of Timon as being slower than Pumbaa. And I don't mean slower, like, don't take that wrong. I just mean, like, they tried to finesse Pumbaa. Basically, Pumbaa understood and he knew a lot in the cartoon version. However, he was undermined by Timon versus, but you know, like I say, as a child, I didn't catch that. And maybe it could just be, you know, because I'm an adult now. And so the 2019 version, I just catch it quicker. But I do feel like they put it out there a lot more about the joke. So like, he was like, you know, it's a furry bird. Oh no, it really is a lion. You know, I just feel like they made it more evident and more clear as to who was the smart one. Like when, you know, in the movie, the cartoon version, they say, when they were singing Hakuna Matata, he says, he could clear Savannah after every meal, da 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 da. And I got downhearted every time that then Timon cuts in, he's like, Pumbaa, not in front of the children. And then this one, in live action, he says, you know, I got downhearted every time that I farted. And he asked Timon, he's like, you're not going to stop me? Why didn't you stop me? You know, da da da. And I knew that was paying homage to the cartoon version. However, I like how they renovated that. And like I said, that's one of the good changes to me personally that I loved about the movie. But, you know, all in all, like I say, it was a very good movie. I definitely want to go see it again. I will go see it again. And yeah, that's just my take. Hopefully hopefully you didn't watch this video before watching the movie, because I watched it like the minute it came out. I was there. You know, because like I say, I love Lion King. But, you know, if you haven't checked it out, you should definitely go check it out. If you have checked it out before, you should go back and go watch it again, because it's my favorite movie, and that would make me so happy, because I love The Lion King, and I feel like everybody should love The Lion King because it's a good movie, you know? So yeah, but I hope y'all enjoyed this video and my review on The Lion King live action versus the cartoon version. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos, and I'll see you later. Peace.
Thank you, next, thank you, next, thank you.